guys, and welcome to another Sims 4 room build. This is a little bit self-indulgent, this build. This is just a fun little toddler slash infant room. Realistically, in the game, this might be quite annoying because I think the infant would probably keep the toddler up and vice versa. But in my head, this had like a Mary Poppins vibe, right? Like, it's the children's nursery. It's where the nanny hangs out. It's a, like, equal parts play space and kid care zone. And I think I like, it's a little bit different than what I usually do. It's a blue, kind of a farm theme, but kind of just like chilled out, a giant room for the kids, admittedly. But also, like I said, the vibe was the nursery, right? Where the nanny hangs out. So I'm imagining like mansion. Did I build the whole mansion? No. Do I have the patience to build the whole mansion? I'm getting there. I'm thinking there might be another mansion build in my future. I can do literally like one a year. I do not have that kind of patience normally. But, like, I built that, Empire style? What was that called? I built that one house not too terribly long ago. I think it was actually January of last year, so quite a while ago. And I really enjoyed the process of that one, so I've been kind of thinking about trying to come up with another mansion build, but I digress. So originally I was going to do 2 toddlers and an infant, and then I briefly debated the merits of a toddler, a child, and an infant. And then I went ahead and, like, I think I ended up shrinking the room a little bit because it felt freaking giant. And I ended up doing 1 toddler and 1 infant. So, like, you could do this where there's a toddler and an infant in the space together. Or you could do where, like, the infant ages up to the toddler and have this just be their space. And then you can trade things out as you want. Like, maybe the parents just got really excited. There's lots of options here. This could also maybe be, like, if you're, like, doing a slow burn 100 baby challenge where you're, like, not in a huge hurry. Which I know, like, the point of that challenge is to do it as fast as possible. But, like, I have a friend who's doing, like, the slow burn 100 baby challenge where the goal is 100 kids, but she doesn't really care how fast she gets there as long as she gets to 100. This room might work for that because then you can kind of, like, sweep them through, like, what's what I'm looking for? Assembly line style. Like, there's one in the crib, there's one in the bed, and then they move out into the children's room. If my voice sounds a little weird, I apologize. Like, moments after I started the recording, it feels like I need to sneeze. So I paused and I was waiting, and it's now been like 10 minutes, but I still feel like I need to sneeze. So we're gonna do this whole thing. We'll see if I sneeze. I kind of doubt it, but I keep like touching my nose. I went with white furniture, mostly out of necessity because I wanted it to be really light, and I originally I was kind of thinking like I'd like the bedding to match. That ended up not really happening. Story of our lives, right? It just never quite works out, and I ended up using a lot of, like, I think parenthood stuff and toddler stuff. It's a pack heavy room, which they usually are, but I think it turned out pretty cute. I do enjoy it, and it is play tested. Like, they all fit and they all work and stuff, which I was a little bit worried about. I love that tent. I've not really found a lot of uses for that tent, to be honest with you, because it's kind of giant, so I was really excited to build, like, a big children's nursery where that tent ended up working out. You know, it's funny when I look at that tent, I'm reminded of, I used to teach in the Sunday school at my old church for, like, many years. I started when I was, like, 13. I was the youngest ever Sunday school teacher there because they just needed so much help. We had so many kids at the church. And I taught through 19. And by 15, I had my own classroom. So, like, I was in charge. And so, like, that tent brings back a lot of those memories because we had a lot of, like, fun toys and stuff for the kiddos. And it worked out good because it counted a lot as my community service for, like, 4-H and stuff. And it was a really good experience because, like, I had to have, like, a full background check, an interview process, all of that. This is a digression we didn't need to make, but that tent brings back fond memories. Because they had a fun tent, and I would love to have something like that here on the farm for my cousins, but it would need to be, like, easily set up. What's the word I'm looking for? Easily assembled and disassembled, because they're not out here that terribly often. And it would also need to be hardy because my cousins come from the same bloodline I do, and therefore things need to be hardy. And it would also probably need to be all weather because there's a solid chance, like, the minute I put that up, the winds are gonna pick up. Because that's what happens. We live in kind of a windy area. It's, like, always got a little bit of a breeze, which is nice, like, 70% of the time. But I swear, anytime I try to set up, like, we had a car tent for a hot minute because we were trying to protect the, we had just purchased a tractor, like a 1976 international harvester ? Anyways, we were trying to protect it while we got all the insurance and stuff on it. Which we are trying to protect it anyway, but now it lives in the barn. It couldn't at the time. We had to do some modifications to the barn. Anyways, we had a car tent for a hot minute. And one day we were like standing out there and we ended up having to go catch it because it decided it wanted to go live with the neighbors. Such is life when you live. I kind of live butted up against a hill, so I think sometimes the winds get a little bit harsher because they like hit the hill and ping off. But anyways, I digress. Yeah, I ended up going kind of late and kind of sort of, I don't even know what you would call the theme of this room. I wanted, it's just sort of like almost IKEA, which I know I say a lot, but it was sort of like, I didn't want it to be gendered, really. I guess you could argue one way or another depending on your feelings towards certain patterns or certain colors, but I don't feel like this room is super gendered. Going back to the build and trying to get back on track, I don't feel like this room is super gendered. I don't feel like this room is super even themed. Like, I wanted to do a little bit of like an outdoors theme with the curtains and to match the tent and things like that, like kind of like Old MacDonald. But even then, it's not like super themed. I feel like it's one of those where even if you didn't particularly like the color scheme, you could probably go through and change everything in like a minute and like have what you wanted without changing any of the furniture really or things like that. I feel like you could get away with some pretty simple changes. You could also probably get away with some pretty simple art changes and changing nothing else and get a much different room. I went very nature themed, which I thought was really fun. I love this tree, by the way. This tree came with growing together, which I know is all I talk about right now. And I know, like, when you're going to see this, it's going to be, like, June or July. So you're going to probably be all, like, growing together out. But, like, it's still fairly new for me. And so, that being said, I can hear my voice really starting to go, and I have a very sore throat. So I'm going to go ahead and call it, even though you've got a little bit more video to watch. Hope you're having a great day and you're feeling loved. If you're not having a great day, hope it gets better. And if you're not feeling loved, you better know that I love you. And that I am excited you're here, and I care for you, and I hope you're having a good time in life. And if not, I hope you can come hang out and have a good time while you're here with us. That you're part of the community, and we love you, and we're glad you're around. So I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye-bye.